Imagine stepping into a city with towering skyscrapers, wide boulevards, and gleaming apartment buildings. But there's no one around. The traffic lights change for invisible cars, playgrounds sit untouched, and shopping malls echo with silence. It feels like a scene from a dystopian movie, yet these places are real. Across the world, entire cities stand empty, waiting for residents who never came. But how did this happen? Why do these cities exist? And will they ever be filled with life? Or are they doomed to be eerie monuments of failed ambition? Let's unravel the mystery of the world's ghost cities. 10. Overambitious development. A city built on dreams. The allure of building a city from scratch is undeniable. It's a blank canvas for urban planners and architects to realize their grandest visions. However, the critical miscalculation often lies in underestimating the complexities of human migration and economic dynamics. Consider Ordos, the new district of Ordos, China. It was designed to showcase the wealth generated by the region's coal boom. Wide boulevards, cultural centers, and expansive residential complexes were erected, anticipating 1 million residents. Yet, the expected population influx never materialized. The issue wasn't just the availability of housing, but the lack of diverse economic opportunities beyond the coal industry. Once the coal boom subsided, the city's appeal dwindled. In contrast, look at the planned cities in the UAE. While places like Masdar City and Abu Dhabi were envisioned as sustainable, eco-friendly hubs, their initial appeal was limited by high costs and a lack of established community. These projects often prioritize technological advancements over social integration, forgetting that a city's soul lies in its residents. The lesson here is clear. Urban planning must be grounded in realistic assessments of economic and social factors. Building a city is not just about physical infrastructure. It's about creating a vibrant, sustainable community. 9. Economic crashes. When the money runs out, economic crises are the great levelers, shattering even the most meticulously laid plans. The 2008 global financial crisis left a trail of unfinished projects and abandoned developments, particularly in countries with speculative real estate markets. Ciudad Valdeluz, Spain, provides a stark illustration. Planned as a commuter town linked to Madrid by high-speed rail, it was supposed to be a haven for young families seeking affordable housing. But the bursting of Spain's real estate bubble left the city half-finished, with empty apartments and shuttered businesses. The crisis not only halted construction, but also eroded consumer confidence, making potential residents hesitant to move in. Calamba, Angola, also tells a story of economic miscalculation. Built during a period of high oil prices, it was intended to address Angola's housing shortage. However, the subsequent drop in oil prices, combined with high unemployment and poverty, meant that most Angolans couldn't afford the apartments. The city became a symbol of inequality, a lavish project disconnected from the realities of the country's economic struggles. These examples highlight the vulnerability of cities built on fragile economic foundations. When the money dries up, so do the dreams of a thriving community. 8. Speculative investments. Cities that exist only on paper. The phenomenon of speculative real estate investment has transformed cities into commodities, where properties are bought and sold without ever being inhabited. This practice has led to the creation of ghost cities, where buildings are owned but not lived in. In China, this trend is particularly pronounced. Local governments, driven by GDP growth targets, often encourage real estate development as a means of generating revenue. This has led to an oversupply of housing in many cities, with apartments being purchased as investments rather than residences. The result is a surreal landscape of empty buildings, where the lights are rarely on and the streets remain deserted. The implications of this are far-reaching. It creates an artificial demand for housing, driving up prices and making it even harder for ordinary people to afford homes. It also leads to the inefficient use of resources, with vast amounts of infrastructure lying idle. This speculative bubble can burst, leading to significant economic instability. A city built on paper is not a sustainable city. 7. Poor location choices. Cities built in the wrong places. Location is paramount in urban development. A city built in a remote, inaccessible area is unlikely to attract residents, regardless of its architectural merits. Ordos, China, is a prime example. Situated in the arid grasslands of Inner Mongolia, far from major population centers and transportation hubs, it struggled to attract residents. The lack of employment opportunities, educational institutions, and cultural amenities further diminished its appeal. Nay Pyi, Myanmar, the country's capital, is another case in point. Relocated from Yangon in 2005, it was intended to be a modern administrative center. However, its sprawling layout, wide boulevards, and scattered buildings create a sense of emptiness and isolation. The lack of a vibrant urban core and the difficulty of accessing essential services have deterred many from moving there. These examples underscore the importance of strategic location planning. A city must be accessible, connected, and integrated into the broader regional economy to thrive. 6. Unfinished projects. Cities that stopped midway. The world is littered with the skeletons of unfinished cities. Projects abandoned due to financial woes, political instability, or corruption. In India, numerous real estate projects have stalled due to funding shortages, regulatory hurdles, and land dispute. Half-finished skyscrapers and abandoned housing developments dot the urban landscape, reminders of broken promises and unfulfilled ambitions. Brazil has also seen its share of unfinished projects, particularly in the wake of economic downturns. The Cidade da Copa, built for the 2014 FIFA World Cup, was intended to be a vibrant residential and commercial hub. However, it remains largely empty, a testament to the challenges of large-scale urban development in a volatile economic climate. These unfinished projects represent a waste of resources and a missed opportunity for urban development. They also create a sense of blight and decay, undermining the potential of surrounding areas. 5. Government incentives. Can you bribe people to move in? Governments around the world have tried various incentives to populate their ghost cities, from tax breaks and discounted housing to free apartments and job creation programs. China has been particularly active in this regard, relocating government offices, universities, and industries to its empty cities. However, these efforts have had mixed results. While some cities have seen a gradual increase in population, others remain largely deserted. In Spain, local authorities have offered tax breaks and subsidized housing to attract residents to Ciudad Valdeluz. However, the lack of jobs and amenities has limited the effectiveness of these incentives. The fundamental issue is that incentives alone are not enough to create a thriving community. People need jobs, schools, healthcare, and a sense of belonging. Without these essential elements, even the most generous incentives will fail to attract and retain residents. 4. Can ghost cities come to life? The fate of ghost cities is not predetermined. Some have successfully transformed into vibrant urban centers, while others remain trapped in a state of limbo. Pudong, Shanghai, is a remarkable example of urban transformation. Once a vast expanse of farmland, it is now a thriving financial and commercial hub, home to millions of residents and businesses.
3.
The key to its success was strategic planning, investment in infrastructure, and the creation of a diverse economy. Some of China's ghost cities are also showing signs of life as industries develop and people seek affordable housing. However, the pace of transformation is slow, and many cities continue to struggle. The key to revitalizing a ghost city is to address the underlying causes of its emptiness. This requires a comprehensive approach that includes economic diversification, infrastructure development, and community building. 2. The future of ghost cities. The future of ghost cities is uncertain. Some will likely be repurposed or redeveloped, while others may be left to decay. In some cases, ghost cities may become tourist attractions, drawing visitors curious to explore their eerie landscapes. In others, they may be transformed into research centers, industrial parks, or even nature reserves. The key to determining the future of a ghost city is to assess its potential and develop a sustainable plan for its redevelopment. This requires collaboration between governments, businesses, and communities. 1. Would you live in a ghost city? The allure of living in a ghost city is undeniable. The wide open spaces, the lack of traffic, and the sense of solitude can be appealing. However, the reality of living in an empty city is far from idyllic. The lack of social interaction, the limited access to services, and the pervasive sense of isolation can take a toll on one's well-being. Ultimately, the decision to live in a ghost city is a personal one. It depends on one's priorities, values, and tolerance for solitude. However, it's essential to recognize that a city is more than just a collection of buildings. It's a living, breathing entity that thrives on human interaction and community. Would you ever move to a ghost city? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating content.